In the previous episode, we explored a forgotten world, a prehistoric Australia ruled by giants, a land where enormous mammoths like Diprotodon roamed the plains. Towering kangaroos stood taller than a man, and terrifying predators like Megalanian and the marsupial lion dominated the wilderness. For millions of years, this strange and isolated ecosystem thrived without human interference. But during the Ice Age, falling sea level reshaped the geography of our planet, exposing land bridge across Southeast Asia. And somewhere along the long distance of those shores, early humans prepared for a journey no one had attempted before. Armed with nothing more than a simple raft, stone tools, and courage, they pushed into open ocean water, sailing towards a land they could not see. That land was Australia. And around 65,000 years ago, the first human finally arrived. This is part 2 of our journey, the story of the first people of Australia and their encounter with the giants that once ruled this continent. Somewhere in what is now Indonesia, group of early humans built simple watercraft, perhaps raft made of bamboo or hollowed log bound together with vines. These are not ships in any modern scene. They had no sails, no compasses, no maps. The people who launched them could not even see the continent they were heading towards. Imagine pushing away from shore with your family, knowing that behind you lied a crowded homeland, and ahead lies nothing but endless horizon. Yet they succeeded. Around 65,000 years ago, humans reached Sahul and became one of the first people of Australia, ancestors of today Aborigine Australia, custodian of one of the oldest continuous culture on earth. Archaeological discovery at Mudjin Rock Shelter revealed how quickly they adapted. There we find finely crafted stone tools, grinding stone used to process seed and pigments, and traces of ancient campfire. These artifacts shows not mere survival, but thriving communities. Within a few thousand years, humans had spread across desert, rainforest, mountains range, and coastline. And everywhere they went, they encountered animals unlike anything their ancestors had faced before. In the southern eastern Australia, near what is now Lake Mungo, evidence revealed both struggle and sophistication. Here live Mungo man and Mungo woman, among the oldest known human remains in Australia. Their burials were ceremonial, involving red ochre and deliberate positioning, proved that these early Australians possessed complex beliefs about death, memory, and identity. Imagine a group gathered at dusk, chanting softly as they lay a loved ones to rest, surrounded by a landscape still dominated by giants. And their daily life, however, demanded constant vigilance. A hunting expedition might begin before sunrise, tracking footprints across sandy ground. Suddenly the trail widened. The march was enormous. Ahead a Diprotodon herd gazes near a water source. The hunter coordinated silently. Some drive the animals toward marshy terrain where their weight will slow them down. Others waited with spears fitted into warm mirrors. Indigenous spear thrower that extend the arm's leverage, allowing projectile to travel faster and further than by hand alone. Such hunts require teamwork, planning, and courage. A single misstep could result in trampling or fatal injuries. Predators pose an even greater danger. A Megalanian emerging from scrub could strike with lightning speed. Theracolian might ambush from tree, using powerful forelimbs to drag prey upward. Aboriginal oral tradition passes down through songline may preserve echoes of these encounters. The stories of enormous reptiles and powerful beasts that once roamed our land. Rock art across northern Australia depicts human confronting large animals, sometimes with exaggerated features that emphasize their size and power. These paintings were not merely artistic experience. They served as educational tools. Visual story teaches younger generation where to hunt, what to fear, and how to survive. And in the meantime, the environment itself was changing. Increasing aridity transformed grassland and forest. Human adopted through deliberate landscape management using controlled burn to promote new plant growth and attract grazing animals. This practice, now called fire stick farming, reshaped ecosystem on a continental scale. And within several thousands of years, the giant began to disappear. Diprotodon vanished. Giant kangaroo declined. Generous eggshell fragments ceased appearing in sediment layer, many showing signs of cooking. Fossil sites increasingly contain only smaller animals more similar to modern Australian fauna. Whether those direct hunting, habit alternation, climate stress, or a combination of all three, the Megafauna era came to an end. And by around 40,000 years ago, the world of giants had largely faded into memories. Modern perception often simplifies this story. One common myth portrayed that megafauna as evolutionary failure destined for extinction. But in reality, many species have survived multiple climate cycles for millions of years. And their sudden disappearance closely follows human arrival, a pattern seen across the globe. Another misconception is that early Aboriginal societies were primitive and static. Evidence shows the opposite. In part of Victoria, the Gunjar Mera people constructed extensive stone aquaculture system to trap and farm eel, creating a reliable food source that support permanent settlement. At Brewarina in New South Wales, elaborate fish trap built from careful arranging a stone is still functioning today, demonstrating sophisticated engineering knowledge and sustainable source management. Even more striking is that megafauna extinction did not end in prehistory. The Thylacine or Tasmanian tiger survived into the modern era, with the last known individual dying in captivity in 1936. A reminder that human-driven extinction is an ongoing phenomenon. Living in Sahul shaped the first people in profound way. Survival required deep ecological understanding, knowledge of seasonal cycles, water sources, plant uses, and animal behavior. Over tens of thousands of years, this knowledge became encoded in stories, rituals, and cultural practices. The boomerang emerged as a sophisticated hunting tool capable of stunning birds or small mammals in flight. Songrin mapped routes across vast distance using landmarks, star position, and narrative memories, allowing navigation without written records. With no other large predator remaining, humans assume the role of apex species. This shift emphasizes cooperation and strategy rather than brute strength, reinforcing social bonds and cultural continuity. Australia's experience reflects a global pattern. As humans expanded into new continents, megafauna declined, from mammoth in North America to giant ground sloth in South America and moa in New Zealand. Some scientists argue that these events mark the beginning of humanity's long-term transformation of Earth's ecosystem, a precursor to the modern Anthropocene. Yet the cultural legacy of the first people emphasized balance rather than domination, expressed through the principle of caring for country, maintaining the health of land, water, and life as an interconnected system. Yet the legacy of the first people is not one of the destruction, but stewardship, a philosophy of caring for country that emphasizes balance between humans and nature. Today, The giants are gone. No Diprotodon herd across the plain. No Megalanian stalked the scrub. The thunder of prehistoric footstep has been replaced by wind over empty landscape. But their stories survive in fossil bed, in ancient painting glowing on the rock wall, and in the tradition of indigenous Australians whose connection to this land stretches back tens of thousands of years. Prehistoric Australians remind us that humanity's journey has always evolved, stepping into the unknown world, facing unimaginable danger, and reshaping the environment in the process. Because this is not just the story of continent, it is the story of what happened when humans arrived somewhere for the very first time. And nothing on earth is ever the same again. If this journey amazed you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comment section which discovery surprised you the most. Because our past is far stranger and far more epic than we ever imagined. So next time on History Under the Cap, we will uncover the mystery of the Native American Stone Age, the Clovis culture, one of the earliest known civilizations of the Americas. Until then, stay curious and keep questioning history.